Hey everyone, welcome to our latest Google Hangout. We have with us today myself, Sasha Angus, and the CEO of the Nanaimo Economic Development Corporation. Gentleman to my left, and you will know, Smythe, the CEO of the Greater Nanaimo Chamber of Commerce. We have Nipul Patel from one of the co-founders of Townsquared. Welcome, Nipul. And Botwright, who is one of our small, medium-sized business owners and a social media guru around town. Thanks for joining us as well, Reed.
Thanks for having me.
So maybe I'll just give a bit of background and kick off the hangout if you don't mind. We started talking to Townsquared about 8 or 9 months ago about new platforms and ways that we can help sort of connect to small, medium-sized enterprises in town. As other small, medium-sized business owners, you know what your time schedule is like. It's say 80 to 90 hours a week on a good week. Worrying about making payroll on Thursday for Monday, those sorts of issues. And so you don't always have the time that you need to be able to reach out and talk to other small, medium-sized business owners. We had a very successful program at the NEDC. It was a peer mentoring roundtable where we're able to bring people around our boardroom and chat about issues that they're having. And what we found was that a lot of small, medium-sized businesses face similar challenges. Some businesses may have faced them sort of 2 or 3 years ago. And the ability to have a venue where those businesses can share information, they can share business development tips, they can create new business development relationships is incredibly important. And so when we saw Townsquared and reached out to Nipul and his team, it seemed like a natural platform for our community to be able to have small, medium-sized businesses be able to chat with each other, create new relationships, create new business development opportunities, and help crowdsource answers for things that are affecting their day-to-day business. And so we're very happy to be able to work with the Chamber of Commerce, with Innovation Island, the Downtown Business Association, as well as Community Features, to really roll out Townsquared in this past month. I understand that we are the first community outside the United States to have Townsquared, which is fantastic. And I understand we're also the fastest adoption rate for small, medium-sized businesses of the communities that have Townsquared. So both things are fantastic, and really looking forward to sharing the platform with you guys today and talking about how we can leverage it for all the small, medium-sized businesses in town. With that, I'd like to introduce Nipul. Nipul, if you wanted to say a few words about the platform and all that it can do.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Sasha, and thank you to everyone from Nanaimo for your support of Townsquared. Sasha, you really hit the nail on the head when you said that what we've learned is that many of these small businesses face a lot of the same problems as the other businesses around them, and in particular, that's largely driven by their location. So we find that a lot of these small, medium-sized businesses do most of their business with customers, either consumers or other businesses, right around their businesses, perhaps in the same city or in the same regional area. We find that the crime and the government issues and the regulatory issues that really affect them tend to be driven in many ways by state and local government as opposed to really a national government. But we found that with all of these similarities and all of these opportunities to work together, there wasn't really a dedicated network for the small medium enterprise. And that's really what we wanted to focus on. We wanted to build this network around the location, which was something that all of these businesses shared in. And it's something that we knew to be sort of a common thread between these businesses. The community matters to these businesses. That old saying that a rising tide lifts all boats. And so, with that tie-in together, we wanted to be able to build it from the ground up with that in mind. In particular, as we were building this out, we started to think about the different ways that these small and medium enterprise businesses overlap, could work together, and could really interact. And what we wanted to build was a communication platform that allowed for call it the infrastructure that is to be in place for communities to really define the kinds of things they want to talk about. Speaking very specifically, in areas that are more urban, where they see a lot of crime, that tends to be something they want to organize around, or where parking is an issue, that's something they also want to organize around. Around the holiday times, you see a lot of businesses organize around shopping events for the customers and the consumers that are coming in and out of the area. You find a lot of people looking to source supplies, or an accountant or a contractor or a new printer, going to Townsquared and being able to find that local business to start to partner with. They're looking for a marketing agency and the like. What we want to do is just build a way for that local economy to support one another, get advice from one another, and form those partnerships to allow all the businesses to grow in a more sustainable way.
Awesome. So, Reed, I know when we launched Townsquared, we did a bit of a soft launch, and you were probably, if not the first person, amongst the top 5 for sure, who had signed up. As a small, medium-sized business owner, maybe you could chat about sort of the potential that you see and what your experience has been.
Absolutely, yeah. I was the guy knocking on the door before the sign flipped over to open. I see huge potential in this for a small business owner, having been a member of the chamber and various different networking groups, and being very involved with networking online. As Nipul mentioned, there's a huge need for that business-to-business networking that can't really happen in LinkedIn. It doesn't really happen as much in real life. You often get representatives from the different businesses that make connections with each other, but it's an interesting opportunity for businesses to have their own voice online to, as Nipul mentioned, discuss things like governmental issues and security of their business and things that might not get discussed in a lot of other platforms, because you're talking about sales, you're talking about sharing business together. So I see a huge potential for it, and it's great because just like social media, I'm definitely an advocate for that. This is 24/7. It's something that business owners can, I think someone mentioned earlier, that business, if you can't make it to a chamber luncheon, by all means go to them because they're amazing. But if you can't, it gives you an opportunity to maybe hear what happened at the chamber luncheon and or carry on a conversation you had at one of these networking events after the fact, and really is a layer in between all of those other networking activities that you do that can sustain and maintain those connections that you have with other businesses in the community. A few notes I have here is that you have all of these small regional business communities. You have, the DMBIA, and you have your Lanceville, and your Oceanside, and you have your mastermind groups and your BNI groups, and this is it's a way to gel all of that together and add some more value on top. Like you're new to town and you started up a new dog walking business. You want to know who in town recommends the best bookkeeping services. Oh, I'm on Townsquared. I go in there. Oh, it looks like this business has 10 reviews and they specialize in brand new entrepreneurial startups. Oh, that's perfect. That's direct value for businesses, and if you're already established, and you can maintain those connections and expand on them. You might only need to contact a dog walker once in a blue moon, but if you're a business owner and you go to Townsquared and find that the new dog walking service is amazing and everyone recommends them, hey, you know what? It's more of a personal thing, but I'm going to use that service. And so there's this great reciprocity that ends up happening in social media. And because this is tailor-built for business to business, tailor-built for our community, you cut out all that noise and all of the crosstalk. You lower the barrier of entry, and you allow businesses to get the maximum value as soon as possible out of their online time. Because we're all online 24/7, and we want to get as much as we can out of that time. So I see that. I see a great integrating this with your other social media. You're not going to be marketing necessarily to this platform, which is nice. You're not going to have people just spamming it with all of their, latest offerings and whatnot, because I already see that there's a much more collaborative nature to it. It's a lot less about messaging to people, and it's more about listening and being heard. So I've only been on it for a little bit, but as Sasha mentioned, I was pretty much the first person waiting at the door when they turned over the sign. I'm also going to be involved in the moderation. Crystal, a great community manager at Townsquared, has invited me, and I'll be collaborating with other community managers, other moderators across Canada, or not Canada, because this is the first in Canada, but across North America, and really bringing the most out of this community, bringing the best practices and what really works in other instances of Townsquared to the Nanaimo one, so that everyone can get the most out of it, and I really look forward to that. So that's all I have to say.
Awesome, Reid. Thanks so much. You said when we first looked at this platform, the Chamber is a natural partner for us in a host of the things that we do, and so reached out to Kim at the Chamber and said, we're looking at this. What do you think? And maybe you want to chat a bit about the Chamber and how you see Townsquared sort of fitting in with what you guys do.
I see a real natural dovetailing around what we do, and it's interesting that you brought, you touched on some Chamber stuff there a couple of times, Reid. I think it's really good. It's a really good tool to extend the conversation that you have with people. We do 4 or 5 regular networking events every month between lunch and business before business, business after business, and a couple of other things. And if you can have a 10-minute conversation with somebody, Townsquared then allows you to take that conversation without losing the impact of your networking opportunity, because you want to move on after you've had your 10-minute conversation. Townsquared gives you that opportunity to pick the conversation up later and go into it in depth with somebody online, continuing to make those, build those relationships after you've left the networking situation. So in an hour you can make 6 or 8 or 10 contacts in a networking situation, and that's 6 or 8 or 10 people you can add to your community and connect with and make sure that you can go further with this conversation and get more in depth on things. What was the name of that guy who did that wonderful job on the audit that you wanted to follow up on, yada yada yada. I'll catch you later with fill in the blanks. So that's where I see it being especially effective for chamber members and as a value-added product for the chamber. That's what I'm seeing it. In these early stages, I mean, it's been so fresh to me. I've been out for a couple of weeks lately, and Nipul just got me up and operating because I was one of the problem children in this whole thing starting up. But we've gotten beyond that now and see we're working fine. I've got to applaud you, Nipul, for being so fast to respond to some of our members' concerns, whether it's something as minor as they typed the code in wrong, to bigger issues, and taking Don Bonner on, who's Mr. Debater around this community. He's the first one to pick up an issue and say, I'm going to run with this, I'm going to jump on you guys, I'm going to see how you respond to it. So I really appreciated the fact that you had a good conversation with Don Bonner the other day.
Thanks, Kim. I would probably echo those words, which is the reason we've picked Townsquared, and what we've been so impressed with is the real commitment to customer service. Like any small, medium-sized business, that sort of customer service is incredibly important. So for any businesses that maybe haven't signed up yet or are looking to get on board with the platform, know that there's a lot of resources out there and a lot of support for you and to engage in Townsquared and to get your business up online on this wonderful platform. And Nipul and his team have done a remarkable job of supporting all the businesses. So far, we're up close to 170 that have signed up in just the first 3 weeks. And so not only from Nipul's team, but folks like Reid and other folks in the community, a remarkable resource and something that we think will do a great benefit to your business if you sign up and use it. So on that note, Nipul, maybe I could ask you to share with folks in the audience a bit about some of the best practices and some of the top things that you guys would recommend a new business platform should do.
Yeah, absolutely. That'd be great. And Sasha, Kim, thank you both for the vote of confidence. We certainly do take our members trust that they place in us, and they place into the platform to be able to communicate very seriously, and we're always here to help. So if anybody has an issue, you can find our support email all over the website. You can reach us through Sasha, through Kim. I don't want to drive a lot of people contacting them, but there are many ways to contact us, even over Twitter, as Reed would know. So I do want to talk about a couple of things that Kim hit on and that Reed hit on, and specifically around this idea of local networking, the value of working locally, and how Townsquared really supports and enhances that. One of the things that we really thought about as we went out and built this network is the importance of making sure that you're actually talking to people that represent real businesses in Nanaimo or in any other city or any other neighborhood or community that's launching this. And so that's one of the things that we've built in sort of the infrastructure of the website itself. So when someone logs on, they, as you recall in the sign-up process, you face this one stage where you had to verify your business. Some of you had a code in advance because we were able to work with Sasha, Kim, and the government there to figure out who exactly were real businesses, and we're able to streamline that process. So when you did come in, we were able to check it off. But folks that wouldn't be in the system would go through that same verification process. And what that means for you as a member of Townsquared is that you can rest comfortably in speaking that the kinds of private issues you talk about there are staying amongst that business peer group and are really landing on people's plate who might have the advice and the experience to really help you out through that. You know, as we get these communities started, Sasha did point out some best practices, and we've certainly done this enough times to really know what a community's growth looks like, and what are those best practices to really get it there. One of the exciting things for me about Nanaimo is how fast it's grown. It's certainly something that the community believes in. I think it speaks to the close-knit sort of, I guess, business community that already exists in Nanaimo, and how to extend this beyond the networking events, which are irreplaceable, but ultimately allowing people to build trust in little ways, 24/7, year-round, get to know each other a little better, and make those networking events that much more enriching for everybody that's involved. So on that note, some of the best practices, I'll hit on really three that I think are important. As communities get started, as people are learning to use the platform for the first time, and anytime you learn to do something for the first time, there's going to be a bit of a curve there. But I'd say the most important thing to remember is just to get involved and start a conversation or join a conversation. And there are a couple of main things that I think people talk about early on that really allow that to build trust. I think first is just, if you have a question, put it out there. This is a group of peers that have been in the exact same position as you are in currently, or might know someone who has, and can help you get advice on that kind of question or answer you have. Another common thing people use this for is to just organize something that involves other merchants. It could be the Nanaimo Business Expo that I believe is coming up in October, or it could be a block event just right around your store. Many things that come to mind, but if you're looking for a place to collaborate, to reach other businesses, and try to find a way to work together, that's what Townsquared is for. The final thing is, and this is probably more social than just professional, but sharing in good news, right? So often we, for instance, I'll just speak to a post I saw recently. Craig from Imprint actually just threw on there that he was finishing up 35 years in downtown Nanaimo. That's really cool. That's a really hard thing to do, to be in business for 35 years. And so it's the little things like that that really build community, and being able to share that experience with those around you, knowing that there are other people that have that same aspiration of being in business for 35 years or longer, and being able to live that out. The second thing that I would say really helps these communities get started, remain active, and really be beneficial is to be helpful to others. Really think about the ways that, in little ways that you might be able to engage and give back. It doesn't have to be a monumental time commitment to make an impact, but little things matter. It could be offering your expertise, answering a question that you see someone has posted that you do have good feedback on. That might be a point of sale issue, or it might be how to navigate a permitting issue that comes up, or many number of things. The other thing is what we see in neighborhoods that are really active are folks asking for and folks volunteering resources that they have that are available to share and loan. Could be a tool, could be, speaking very specifically about something we've seen, a price gun for a retail store that they didn't need anymore and they were going to throw away, but knew that there are plenty of other retail stores that might have use for it. So being able to pass it on and let somebody else take advantage of that. Those are the little ways that communities get built and get built in sustainable ways. The third thing that I would hit on that I think is really important for these groups is that when you think about how Townsquared is built, the base group, the underlying structure, is really about the community. It's about Nanaimo. But within that, there are a lot of other groups that will naturally emerge that you can either create or join if it already exists, and I'd certainly recommend you do that. In other cities and other communities, we see groups being created around industry. So it could be, a restaurant group where everybody that owns or is involved in a restaurant can talk about the challenges and get advice on that particular type of business. It could be related to an issue that's coming up, or an event that's coming up that you want to really organize, and so you take the conversation out of the feed in terms of called the behind the scenes stuff, and you create a group that folks that are really interested in getting involved can join. We see that around the holiday times. Groups pop up and can easily be deleted when they're done if they're seasonal or things of that nature. So yeah, I would say in terms of getting started, 3 simple things to do. Just look for ways to get involved in terms of starting a conversation or joining in a conversation. Being helpful to others in your community. It's we're really sort of all in this together. And where you can be helpful is not only beneficial for you in terms of building that relationship, but it's also beneficial for that other person in helping them be a more effective business person. And then finally, look for groups that you can either create or join that might be related to your industry or something you're passionate about that's happening in Nanaimo that you want to involve other merchants, or an issue that you face that's local.
Cool. Thanks, Paul. I got to say, I would actually very much echo that last comment, which is the ability for different sectors of our local economy, different industries in town, to be able to network with each other. We do a series of fall roundtables once a month every year, talking to different sectors, saying what are your challenges, what are your opportunities, and there's often themes that come through. So as a small, medium-sized business owner, I know in the hours that you work, there's a lot of times where you feel, frankly, that you're in it alone, that nobody else is experiencing the same sort of challenges. To be able to talk to your peers that way, to be able to sort of share that information, we found to be incredibly important for the companies that do participate, and they get real value out of it, saying, I'm glad I'm not the only one facing this. Here are some solutions that a colleague or another person in my sector has found that can benefit my business. So that last piece, absolutely critical. I think Nicole's comments about the nature of the close-knit community, particularly the business community in Nanaimo, incredibly important. That this provides just another platform where we can broaden the reach of our small, medium-sized businesses and make sure that they're successful and that they have a better quality of life as well. So, wanted to thank everyone. If there's minutes to read, I know there's maybe some call to action this week that you wanted to chat about as far as reaching out and strategies to become what we call Townsquared savvy.
I think Nipul talked a lot about kind of the best practices and what to do. I think the next step is just get on Townsquared. If you're not already, sign up. Anyone who's going to be running your profiles, get them on as well. Get them accounts if they're managers, if they're owners, if they're employees, and complete your profiles. Just like on Facebook or Twitter, you want to present yourself as professional, and everyone who looks at your profile, it's going to be a reflection of your business. So get out there, and then look around, start networking with people. A big part of Townsquared is connecting with businesses that you already deal with. You have your favorite bookkeeper or whatever business out there. Recommend them. Sing their praises. Pass around that love because it's reciprocal. It'll come back, and just become involved. And if you have any troubles, this platform, this company has shown that you can't get in, you can't do something, you put up a message, they'll respond. The community managers, myself as a moderator, and Crystal, they'll be there to answer your questions and provide you the kind of support so that you can get engaged, so that there is no question that is too silly, too weird, because even the experts had to learn how to do it ourselves at one point. And we went through and we asked ourselves the exact same question, asked the experts at the time the exact same question. So reach out and just get involved, because every bit of effort you put into it will come back to your business. So.
Cool. Thanks, Reid.
No problem.
So one of the features around Google Hangouts that you like is the ability to ask questions and to be able to provide answers in real time. And so on your screen, we'll see the ability to ask a question as part of the program. At this point, if there's any questions from viewers or folks that would like to pose a question to any one of us, we're happy to take the questions. I can tell you, again, it's been a fantastic experience with the Chamber, with the partners, with the team at Townsquared, to get to this point. And it's something that we look forward to continuing to grow. As was mentioned, it's a communications platform that we think is going to do great things for the local small and medium-sized business. And we really want to make sure that, that you guys get the best value out of it possible. Continue to grow your business, employ more people in our community, make new investments, and that's something that that we all stand to benefit from. So I had our first question. How do we add or edit topics on the feed? Crime, safety, not as much of an issue in Canada as it is down south. I would like to see a topic on election.
I'm sorry, Sasha, you were breaking up a bit there. Can you repeat that question?
Sorry. So the first question we had was, how do we add or edit topics under feeds? So if they wanted to add another topic where people can contribute to, is there what's the process to do that?
Yeah, so this is, Sasha, one of the things I've talked to you about individually is this, the new feature enhancements we're going to be making. Right now, the only place that an individual could add or edit that topic after the post has been created is through us. And that's something, if they contact us, we're happy to do. With that V2 rollout that we talk about, the speed improvements and some of the feature improvements, that's one of the things that we're baking in, where anything that you write can be editable by you fully, including the tags and all of the other things that you would apply to it. And that'll be ready in very short order. In a couple of weeks, we'll have that rolled out, and there'll be plenty of advanced communication about what to expect with that within the Nanaimo community as well.
Fantastic. Thanks, Nicole, and thanks for the question. Just looking, is there any other questions that people would like to pose? We did want to try and keep it to half an hour because we know your time is precious, and so wanted to say again, thanks to everybody for joining us today. Again, the marvels of technology. This broadcast will be instantly recorded to YouTube, and so we'll share a link on Townsquared with everybody that participated, as well as those that maybe weren't able to join us. Really encourage everybody to get engaged with Townsquared and to use it as a new place to have your business or questions answered, as well as be able to develop new business development. I want to thank again the Chamber and all of our partners for helping make this a reality. Nipul and your team at Townsquared and Reid as a community manager, thank you for everything that you do. And we want to thank all of the businesses that have signed up so far. Obviously, we're going to continue to grow the network, and hopefully this will be a great new thing for our business community for many, many years to come. So if there's no other questions, we'll sign off there. If you do have questions, again, feel free to post them on Townsquared, and we can help continue the conversation. So
I'd just like to add, Sasha, that we get questions, or have been getting questions the past week from members who have signed up, said, okay, I'm here, now what? And I liken this to, it's like any other new forum or any other new networking opportunity that you walk into. You don't walk in the door and look at everybody and say, what are you going to do for me now? You walk up, start introducing yourself, start asking questions, start raising topics that are of interest to you, and watch people turn around and start talking to you. So rather than wait and say, what's in it for me, start contributing to the conversation, toss some ideas out there. I thank Don for his suggestion about the elections. Yes, we want to see that. I want to address that issue as soon as possible. And let's just start talking.
awesome. Thanks, Kevin. Thanks again, everyone. So this will be up online on Townsquared, the link to the Google account shortly. And again, if there's any questions, feel free to get in touch, post things on Townsquared, and we look forward to continuing the conversation online. Thanks, everyone, and have a great rest of your business day. Take care.
Thank you.